Hey guys, you're watching Neely Music, where I, O'Neill Donald, talk about pop music and about life and about a whole bunch of other stuff that is great. Yeah. I'm here to review Jason Derulo's brand new album, Everything Is For. Everything is for. Yeah. So I've heard, of course, his first single off the album "Want You to Want Me," and I saw that the album was available for an early listen through MTV, and also through Manny's Corner. He did a review of the album, and I was able to get to the album that way. So thanks a lot, Manny, for that. So I'm just giving you my thoughts on the album, what I think. Just a general overview. I don't. Mm, Jason Derulo, I want to say, is one of the best songwriters slash businessmen that is out in the business right now that's dominating the charts. And it's not simply that he's talented, but it's a mix of his talent and his ability to market his talent. And with the way that he wrote on Everything Is For, I can tell that this guy has a business mind. I can tell that this guy knows how to sell his talent. Because for me personally, listening to the entire album, it was very few songs that really deviated topically from the usual. Okay, girl, I think you're hot, and I'm gonna talk about you in the song. That's literally what almost the entire album was. Actually, for me, I could have named the album "Want You to Want Me" because almost every single song up until like I don't know, like track 7 to 9, was literally the same song just put to a different beat. But the great thing about that is that I know that Jason Derulo definitely has a business mind, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it made for lyrics that weren't necessarily deep, didn't necessarily have a lot of content, and that's something that I really look for as a listener. A great thing also about Jason Derulo is that he's become this major falsetto singer. Not saying that he didn't do it back in the day, but his use of his falsetto has grown, and because of that, that's given him access to a lot more range of his voice, allowing him to go from his deep manly range into that falsetto range, having lots of access to go to ascend and descend with all of the melodies that he comes up with in his brain. So that allows for these amazing musical lines that he comes up with, and that are all over his album. That's probably one of the greatest reason why one of the big reasons why he's a great songwriter is that he comes up with these choruses and these breaks that are just amazing, and it's not just him singing by himself, but just the choruses, the harmonies, and things like that. It was really good to listen to. I don't think there's any other person right now in the pop industry that's mastered the pop formula like Jason Derulo has, except for Chris Brown. But the thing about Chris Brown is that he's very NSFW, if you know what that means. But yeah, if Chris Brown were a little bit more geared to, I guess, and a more friendly audience, a more and a, an audience that covered more ages, Chris Brown would definitely be on the top. But Jason Derulo definitely he's mastered the pop formula, and we can see that in this album he's gotten a little bit more, I guess. A little more vulgar. I guess he's getting a little bit more I guess racy as he grows as a man and as an artist. I think he's feeling a little bit more freedom to talk about what's actually on his mind. Um, uh, but one thing about Jason Derulo, the thing is, having mastered the pop formula, having mastered songwriting in the way that Derulo has, it's very easy for him to mask when he's not trying and when there's a lack of effort or thought in his music. And I thought that Everything Was For, I guess, listening to it, I thought that it was it was a lazy album. It was sort of kind of lazy. I felt that he wasn't really branching out. He wasn't really stretching his gifts. Not necessarily that he's not gifted, but I could tell that it didn't really take a lot of thought for him to write these songs. Not saying that he's not talented, but I think that that he could have stretched himself a little bit more. One thing about this album is that the choruses on this album are very, very, very strong. Again, Jason Derulo has those wonderful musical lines ascending into this vast range that he has thanks to his falsetto, and along with that, he comes up with great choruses. Examples tracks that have these amazing choruses are, of course, "Want You to Want Me," which is the single, "Cheyenne," which I will definitely talk about later, "Get Ugly," just "Trade Hearts." Like these songs, they just have great choruses that play around with melody, that ascend, that descend, that just he just does great work on that. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this album is the features. He featured Jennifer Lopez. He featured Megan Trainor. He also featured a girl named Julia Michaels, who I actually never heard of. He featured K Michelle, and the K Michelle duet was awesome. I think that one thing that allowed him to, I guess, try a different side is that he did so many duets on this album, and the duets, especially the K Michelle song. Let me give you what song that is. Love Like That. Love Like That with K Michelle, and Trade Hearts with Julia Michaels. These are duets that were very well arranged, and there's a lot of back and forth, going from the deepness of his voice to like the highness of the female voice. Really, really good things that are going on there. And even Jennifer Lopez, who isn't really a big singer, like an Ariana Grande or like a Whitney Houston. She's not that type of singer. But hearing her on the album, and especially on that one song, which was, let me "Try Me," "Try Me." But yeah, Jennifer Lopez, she brought a really, really nice flavor to that, I guess, sort of a Caribbean style song. Let's see. Uh, I unfortunately I can't talk about every song. I'm gonna have to narrow it down to some standout tracks. So I have three standout tracks for Everything Is For. I have Cheyenne, I have Painkiller, and I have Trade Hearts, which I already mentioned. Cheyenne definitely has to be the next single without a doubt. I thought that Cheyenne, it was just it's with these musical lines that he's doing, like in his falsetto. Like I talk about it because it's really, really good. It's really, really good. Um, Along with this grungy bass thing that's going on, I think I talked about this in Taylor's Bad Blood, where this grungy percussion allows for a higher voice to really soar above the mix. And with the line that comes on when he's singing Cheyenne, Cheyenne, and when he's doing that and it's soaring, and with the bass, it really just makes for a really, really good feeling music. And especially with the grungy bass with this grungy bass production that's coming into style with Ariana Grande's "Love Me Harder," with Taylor Swift's "Style," this grungy bass and B, is that what I'll call it? In fact, that's what some people are calling it, bass and B, kind of like R&B with bass. This style of production is really starting to come into style, and I think that this would be a great second single and a great switch from "Want You to Want Me." My second standout track is Painkiller. Megan Trainor is definitely, I love when songwriters come together, because Jason Derulo's style, you can really hear it throughout this album. Strong choruses, and those strong musical lines that he's singing through his voice. And then Megan Trainor has that sassy doo-wop style that she's experimenting with especially with her album title. And the two styles just came together to make this great sounding music. The line that I guess the main line in there, the riff that's in there that the song is based off of, kind of sounds like a James Bond song, and like it was kind of a mysterious feel that came to it, and I really enjoyed that. And my last standout track, Trade Hearts. Julia Michaels, she she's just a very, very emotional singer. And one thing that I would have liked to hear more of with Jason Derulo on this album is, I guess, a little bit more of himself, a little bit more emotion. And Julia Michaels definitely pulled that out of Jason Derulo. In fact, there's a one part in Trade Hearts where at the end he actually imitates her style, and he opens up his voice, and it sounds great. I think it's actually the first time I felt him like emotionally on this entire album. I would say that this album is not really emotional. I'm not really feeling his heart. Like, it's almost like there's a wall and he's not really giving you really himself. He's just giving you his talent, which isn't bad, but I would really like to hear you, Jason Derulo, you know? But yeah, Trade Hearts is it's definitely a great duet. The best duet on the album. I want to say, I don't know if I can say that, but it's a really great duet. I know that Love Like That with K Michelle would definitely go neck and neck with that as well. Um, let's see. Yeah, if I were so I'm gonna do something different in this video, and I'm gonna be rating this album. But in order for me to do that, I'm gonna have to have like some criteria. So I'm gonna rate it in three places: in its production, in its lyrics, and in its vocal performance. In the production category, under the criteria, I have what am I looking for in the production? I'm looking for marriage to the lyric. Does the production lift the music? I'm looking for creativity and for assistance of the vocal, or like the background harmonies. And for that, I gave it 2.5 out of 5. There's not a lot of background harmonies that are going on. The production really does its job, but it's nothing that's really amazing and shocking. The lyrics, I'm looking for depth, I'm looking for mechanics, and I'm looking for originality. And again, as I said, the lyrics aren't really original. However, in the melody and the mechanics, Jason Derulo definitely has a grasp on it. And those choruses are just insanely good. So I actually gave him a 3, not a 2.5, but a 3. And now with the vocal performance, I'm looking for passion, I'm looking for authenticity, and I'm looking for the wow factor. And out of Jason Derulo's vocals by themselves, I probably would have given it a 2, but with the features, I gave it a 2.5. So in total, I give this album a 2.7. Fair. I wasn't really wowed by it. There were some really great things about it, and I highlighted them, but it's not really an album that, and of course it's not an album I would bump, but it did have some great musical moments, and it was somewhat interesting to listen to, but I think that Jason Derulo, he can push himself more. I think there's definitely more inside of there, and I really hope that as he grows as a man, as he grows as an artist, that he'll learn how to pull on authenticity and on the realness of what's going on. So that's the end of my review of Jason Derulo's Everything Is For. I really hope that you enjoyed this and that you watched the entire thing. And even if you didn't, please subscribe to my page. I'm always talking about pop music, always talking about everything that's in right now. And if you really want to continue this conversation with me, comment below or follow me on Twitter at Neily Music, Neily Music. And we'll continue this conversation. Really nice talking to you. Bye!